Alright, I've been running errands all week and all day. It's time now to test the heat treat. I'll be doing this quite often. This is a box, a medium flat rate box. And when I do heat treat, I do about 20 pounds. It almost fills the turkey roaster. And then when I take out the broken ones and the stuff that didn't heat treat well, what I got left usually fits into one of these boxes, and it's about 20 pounds. And then I start testing. And by the time I finish testing and breaking some of these, it's a little bit less than 20 pounds. Just to give you an idea, these were all heat treated at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And I do have a thermometer that now monitors the temperature in my turkey roaster. These are various Texas cherts that I picked up very recently because I didn't bring many cherts with me back to Texas from Vermont when I came back to Texas while I'm staying here. I'm not going to be staying here much longer, but I will be here for a little while. Let's see, probably through most of the winter. I need to get better prepared for the winter this time, so I can do more work in my van. I wasn't really all that prepared last winter, and I ended up freezing my butt off, which was okay because I don't mind the cold weather all that much, but it slows me way down. Winters here in West Texas are much nicer. It does get cold, but it's not nearly as bad. Alright. But next winter I'll hopefully have a better setup. Alright. So, testing the heat treat. I just biface a lot of these things. What type of chert is this? This is Medina County chert. I don't know what it's called. I just know that I can get a bunch of it usually when I travel down to Texas. I've got very generous friends. Speaking of generous friends, I just received a shipment of aluminum. A bunch of these aluminum rods of different diameters. Okay, let's see. The first question I'm going to get is, how much was it, and what are the diameters, and where'd you get it? I think it was eBay. 40 bucks. This is inch and 3/8. Yeah. This one is inch and 1/8. My billet of aluminum. I should make a separate video with this stuff. Inch and a half on my billet. It's worn down a little bit, so it's like inch and 7/16 or something. I should do a different video just on these aluminum pieces, but I'll just cram it into the beginning of this video. 7/8, 5/8, 1/2, and 3/8, I think. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, and thank you for all the birthday wishes. I got a bunch of birthday wishes during the auction, because yeah, it wasn't my birthday, but I don't tend to make a big deal out of my birthday. It's like any other day, except for maybe I'll cheat on my diet and eat some chocolate. Yeah, and of course the presents are nice and all that stuff. Very nice. It was very, very nice. So I'll be using that aluminum in upcoming videos, but I'm also getting my hands on some more steel, some more copper, and yes, I got a bunch of Antler from a friend of mine too. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Bunch of whitetail. I'm going to throw some other things in this video because I want to. This here is part of a set. Okay, whitetail deer, nice stuff. Heavy brown antler cut from the skull. Perfect stuff, just the way I like it. I can make a billet out of this. I cut a piece out. All right, and the piece I cut out was this piece right here. So I have the tines in the box somewhere, and I have this piece here. I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to make a combination pressure flaker and billet out of this, but I probably will. The brow tine is extremely tough and very good for pressure flaking, so I'll probably keep that on there. Just round it off on both ends and use it as a billet and as a pressure flaker. So I got a lot of stuff here while I'm here to work with. Yeah, I'm making this knife. That piece that I cut out, let's see, let me bring that back. This is one of the errands, by the way. All right, so that piece that I cut out right here is this piece here, and that's the part I like to use for knife handles for a Skinner knife like this. Okay, I cut this piece out. This side is where I haft the blade, and this side here is this part that fits in the palm of your hand. Okay, and I just grind it down to fit. I don't like the big old burr or whatever they call it. When I make a knife, I don't like to use this part for the knife. I use this part for most of my knives that I make. I don't make very many. This one is an errand I should have done 6 months ago at least. I'm just now getting to it. So just to inform you, this piece I cut out, I use it for knives, and I can use this part for flintknapping and the other parts for flintknapping. Just FYI. Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled programming. This feels very nice. It'll work very well. I don't see any major issues. The Cortex sometimes is dicey. I've got 2 days to do stuff with this heat treat before the auction. I will probably be making stuff out of a lot of it, but if I have stuff that I think I'll sell, you'll see it in the auction. If I decide to keep it all, I gotta think of something else to offer in the auction on Monday. Switching back to Mondays. I was doing Wednesdays because of the holidays. This time the holidays were a little bit too close to the auctions on Mondays. And it also interfered with some of my trips I was taking on the weekends with my kids and for my kids. But now everything's settled back down. It's the new year. Everyone's getting back to school and all that stuff. Yep, school is still part of their lives. A lot of them are going to college and stuff. Okay. I say a lot of them because I've got 6 children, in case you didn't know. All right. So yes, very nice chert. Okay, so that goes in the nice pile. Where is my? I usually have another box already taped up, but I don't have one. All right. This is the heat treat from Mississippi. I'm going to spall this down or biface this down too. Yeah. So I normally do this every week. I don't know if I'll show it on video every week, but every week I start out spalling stuff. Here in my old house in Texas, I have a lot of stuff in my yard. The house went to my wife and kids during my divorce, but I still come visit and stuff. Still have a little shop here, although it's empty when I'm not here. I bring all my stuff with me so I can do a little bit of work while I'm here. We're still on friendly terms. Everyone's getting along. So I get to do some work. Yeah. All right. We'll see how it goes. I've got a lot of stuff to heat treat coming up. A lot of stuff. Put a lot of it on film. I will put a lot of it on film. Some of it will be silent films and some of it won't be. I'm going to do both, no talk videos and regular videos. In case you hadn't noticed. Let's see, I gotta put these aluminum bars where they won't bug me. For now. Although I did put a chamfer on one of these. Yeah, I'm gonna be using this for indirect percussion here coming up soon. Put a chamfer on 2 of these bars. I just put these under my knee, Expedient. And this is thick enough that I can use, it won't bend. Now this one, I don't know. This one is what? Which one is this? This one is the 3/8 one? No, 1/2 inch one. Yeah, this one should stand up to pounding on it with a mallet, but it might bend. If it starts bending, I'll cut it and insert it into a wood handle so that this part sticking out is not so long. And we'll see what happens. But this one should hold up nicely without any kind of handle on it. And this one is 5/8. Right. Okay. This other one that I've been using, this one is ¾ But I need to either drill this out and put a stick in there or put this into a stick. One of the two. I need to extend this out. And the length of this, someone already asked me this. They always do. 6 inches. This one, all the ones I just recently got, 12 inches. 1 foot. All right, so you had to wait 14 minutes for that, but I got it in here. Yep. Now I broke this wood, right? I don't care. What happened to the other piece? I ended up snapping this Mississippi gravel in half. Yeah. I don't like the larger blades anyway. But it would have been kind of nice. I like making points of this size. Anyway. The larger ones I can live without making the larger ones, yeah. It doesn't bug me anymore. I used to get all bent out of shape when I broke the big stuff. Until I started focusing only on big stuff for a while. And it made me kind of miserable, so I said, no more big stuff. No more big blades. It's not worth it. Not worth it in terms of time or money or effort. Now that, I don't know, yeah. Internal crack due to the bulb of percussion and the original spall. There was an incipient crack. I spall it before I heat treat it, right? Sometimes there's incipient cracks, and then when you heat it, it usually gets worse if you don't spall it carefully. If you heat it with an incipient crack, chances are that crack gets worse, and it'll rear its ugly head. Yeah. Especially if you start talking and napping at the same time. Lose your focus and you start ignoring the little defects. I might have been able to nap around it. Let's see if I can get this new awesome piece of aluminum to work here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I put the chamfer on the edge. Can you see? No? Good. But yeah, I put the chamfer on the edge and then I strike. It eventually becomes rounded. But it works good, either chamfered or rounded. Works well. Yes, indeed. Okay. Did you see? Did you catch it? Yes, hopefully. Why don't I grind it beforehand? Because I like these little steps, don't you know? Yeah. It's a controlled step. Controlled. I'm going to beat that to death. I say that over and over again. Don't worry, it's all controlled. It's one of the inside jokes on the channel, yeah. Supposedly. I don't know how funny it is. No one's ever really talked to me about it. No one's ever said, yeah, lay off the controlled stuff, okay, dude? No one's really ever talked to me about that or had a stern talking. I've never had a stern talking to about that sort of thing. They just usually don't watch the channel after. That's all. They tune out. They go, they say to themselves, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not going to watch it. Nope. And you know what I say? I say, bye-bye. That's okay. Now the chamfer here is interfering somewhat with the way these flakes travel. So I like it better when it's rounded. But the chamfer allows me to use it quickly. It only took like a minute or two to put that chamfer on there with the sander. It doesn't ruin the sanding belts like steel does. Another advantage of aluminum, it's much easier on the sander or the files or whatever you're using to shape it. That's bifaced well enough. That's the same stuff as before. Same Medina County chert. All right. What else do I have? Oh, this is the snap in half stuff, but it's too thin to mess with it with the billet. So I'm going to put it with the flakes on the other side. Yeah, this is all concretey usually, but with a little bit of heat, it becomes workable. Terrible, workable. Yeah, see that? This is napped in the raw state, and when you heat treat it for 450 degrees Fahrenheit, it becomes not only easier to nap, but smoother when you flake it. Imagine that. Imagine that. In case you didn't know. Now you know. Yep. I'll try to make as many videos as I can today and tomorrow. I knew better than do that. Yeah, boys and girls, don't do that at home. Don't be testing your heat treat with highly aggressive strikes. Okay, I gotta tone it down a little bit. I can still use these, but it's getting annoying when I'm breaking too many of them. That's already too many. All right. That's nice stuff. Yeah. Don't ask me what it is. Cruddy when not heated, and nice when heated. That's what it is. This is more Medina County. Okay. I think that's a county. Yeah. All right. Yep, same good stuff. This in a raw state is really nasty. Now let's see if I can knock off a big flake so you can kind of see the difference. Okay. Yeah. He's glossy. It's rough before you heat treat it, glossy afterwards, and much easier to nap. In the heat treated state, I can take off chunks like that pretty easily. I saved some of these flakes if they're big enough for arrow points. If not, I just toss most of that stuff. That goes in the landfill. I throw it away and they take it to the landfill. Yeah. Some people don't know what to do with the flakes because they're afraid that maybe they'll get confused with real flakes and the archaeological record will get all messed up. Well, as long as it goes to a landfill, there's plenty of other modern objects in the landfill, so they know that those flakes are modern. Or the flakes are from actual sites, but they got thrown away by somebody who's careless. Either way, they can't use them anyway. Archaeologists can't really use stuff without provenance, which means, you know, they can't use stuff that they didn't dig up themselves, or there's no record of where or how deep they were. Even if I had a big batch of flakes from a site and I said I got these from a real Indian campsite, the archaeologists really can't use them or study them because there's no proof that that's where they're from unless they dig them up themselves. So you don't need to worry too much about this kind of stuff. As far as the archaeological record goes, you let the archaeologists worry about that stuff. Okay. And let's say in the future the archaeologists are getting confused between what's modern and what's not. That's on them. They should be able to tell the difference. Yeah. Or they'll have controls in place to ensure that they don't study something that's going to be modern. Procedures. Various ways to classify these materials. That's a good piece. That's a good size. That's what most of my large-ish spalls turn out to be. You know, 3 1/4, somewhere between 3 and 4 inches closer to 3, just like this. This is like 90% of what I like to work with. And you can see, hold on. You can see these are all kind of similar in size, okay? Very nice. All right, what else? Nasty. This is nasty gravel type landscape chert that, you know, you can get for, I don't know, 80 cents a pound or some ridiculously cheap. You can even get it for free if you know where they're dumping some of this stuff. Oh yeah. This is dumped sometimes. It's just annoyance material when they're clearing land and stuff. They'll just dump it off to the side, or they'll put it in trucks and take it somewhere and dump it. You know, but you can try to find this at landscape supply yards. I don't recommend going to your local Taco Bell and looking in their landscape. That sort of thing. I'm not going to recommend that. How do I know that people take stuff from the landscapes? I don't know. It's a mystery. Am I guilty of doing that? When I first started, yeah. I would be sitting, waiting, and I'd look in the landscape and I'd go, you know what? I think that one would be good. So I'll take one. Put a little stone in my pocket. Go home and test it. Sometimes it's all nasty and cruddy like this. So I heat it. Sometimes it turns out well. Sometimes it doesn't. If I ever go back there, I take it with me and dump it back in the landscape and go, not worth it. Yeah. I don't recommend you doing that. I don't do that anymore. No, those were back in the old days. That was when I first started and I didn't know what was what. So I tested everything. Yeah, I mean, some of it gets good when you heat treat it. Some of it doesn't. Some parts can be napped. Some parts can't. At least not easily, and some parts are very fractured. But this looks like I can make an arrowhead out of it eventually. I'm not going to do this with all of that stuff. A lot of that, or most of that, is flakes and not these spalls. Ouch. A little bit too much material there. Yeah, I think that's mostly usable. I got a bunch of this kind of stuff laying around in boxes and buckets. You know, this size of biface, previously chipped and just waiting for a project. Or if someone asks me, you got any spare spalls? I used to send out spare spalls. I don't send them out anymore. The only time you'll see them is during the auctions now. I don't send these out anymore. Yeah. So what else we got? Well, we got nice thin flakes, but there's a piece of agate in here. Pretty. All right, let's see. Usually agate does not respond to heat less than 500, but we'll see. Where's my pad? Yeah. We shall see. Look how thin that is. These are just cut off rejects from the flake over grind friends that I have. They do a lot of flake over grind. This looks like it responded well to 450. And yes, it was raw before I got it. I mean, when I got it, it was raw. Not previously heated. So yeah, that'll nap nicely if I ever get around to it. It's way too thin to do a quick arrowhead from it. It takes time to nap these down. So this goes in the flakes. All right. This darker stuff, sometimes this does not heat well. The darker stuff, I don't know what it is, but some kind of mineral makes it look dark, and that mineral, I guess, doesn't like heat. And I get a lot of fractures. Yeah, there you go. It doesn't like heat, but when it does like heat, this is some of the most beautiful stuff to nap. Let's see if it is nice. Let's see if it's glossy. A little bit. Does it nap well? Let's see. Oh, yes. Nice. Oh yeah, I can take off the turtlebacks now. Now that it's heated. As long as I don't get an overshot. Let me see. Let's try for the turtleback knockout. No. Let's see. One more chance. Did it do it? Almost. Much better than it was doing when I spalled it in the raw state. I don't think I could do that in the raw state. Let's see. This rod is working out pretty good, by the way. This brand new aluminum rod. Working out well, but let's see. I'm just not hitting it in the right spot to take that turtleback off. One more chance. Let's see. Yeah, I'll eventually get it. It's getting worn down. What did I do? Anything? I don't know. Let's switch over to a different tool that's not so bulky. I do need to round off the tip on that aluminum, so the chamfer works all right with the bigger pieces, but if I want to get more precise, I need to use the smaller tips. There you go. nice. Let's stick it over there in the spall category, or the biface category. A lot of this stuff is very nice. I already napped some of this. This is going to be good. Yeah, if it doesn't break up into small little unusable chunks, it usually is usable. Usually usable. Oh yes. What happened here? Is this just a broken off chunk, or did it break in the heat treat? I'm not sure. Sometimes they crack like this in the heat, but this might not be one of those. It might be just something I broke earlier and just threw it in the heat treat. Looks like it'll be nice. I can already tell it's easy to nap. Yeah. More gravel chert with some concrete running through the middle. I'm sure you guys have seen this kind of gravel chert, and it'll make you suffer in the raw state. Oh yes. And the cortex looks like it got darker. Kind of cool. Oh yes. Not quite like butter, but I am making progress with it more than I could otherwise. How do I know? Well, I spalled all this and flaked it down, so I remember what this was like in the raw state. It was not fun. I probably need to capture it on video. Both stages, you know, before and after. I had a video like that. I had a video like that last week where I spalled it out on video and stuck it in the heat treat, but that video didn't work out, so I gotta do it over. Pretty. Sometimes I can preserve some of this cortex, but usually not. Let's see if I can nap into that concrete. Oh yes, much smoother now. See how the flake is, the flake scar is smooth compared to how it was before. That's going to be easier to nap through for sure. All right. What is this? This is kind of like an amoeba. Yeah, amoeba chert. Usually I don't heat treat amoeba cherts. We're gonna see this time if it worked out. See, because amoeba cherts a lot of times will overheat and it will get too brittle. So you heat it at lower temperatures, you know, 350 instead of 450. Some of the amoeba cherts don't need heat at all. But if you want to make intricate points with fancy notches and or thin tips, serrations and whatnot, I recommend heat treating. This looks like it survived the heat treat with no bad side effects. Yeah, no bad side effects. Yeah, very nice. I'll stop hitting on that one while I'm ahead of the game. I already napped a piece of this, so this will be okay. Alright, let's see. This already was high grade before I stuck it in the heat treat. Yeah, this was already a very high grade chert. But I think I already started napping on it, looks like. Yeah, I think I did. Before I stuck it in the box, I did test a little bit of it out. So even though I didn't need heat treat, I think it'll be fine. I don't think the heat did anything bad to it. Sometimes, like I said, it'll make it more brittle, especially with the darker colors. This is a lighter color, so you're a little bit safer with this stuff. Oh yes. Now, how often did the Native Americans heat treat stuff that did not need to be heat treated? That's a good question. It does look prettier, so if you're going to trade it for something, you want it to look prettier, you'll go, yeah, it's high grade, but I made it even higher grade, so it's worth more now, right? And everybody says, oh yes, it's worth a lot more now. That's the goal anyway. Why is it worth more? I don't know. That's just the way people are. They like shiny stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I already napped some of this. It is going to be good. Alright. High grade stuff. Alright, this was a biface that I had done earlier that I didn't like the material, so I stuck it in a heat treat. Now let's see what it does. Let's see if it improves at all. Alright, let's see if it improved. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to do the pressure flaking thing because it should be easy to pressure flake. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you heat treat. Not only for notches and serrations and that kind of stuff, but nice flake patterns are possible with pressure on the heat treat. I don't see much of a change in the glossiness, and there's not much of a change in the nappability as far as I can remember. But I am able to pressure flake on it. Let's see, I'm going to try some indirect percussion and try to clean off some of that mess. It pressure flakes well, so that's established. I don't know how fancy I can get the pressure flakes, but it does pressure flake well. Now let's see. Where should I attack first? Should I regularize the edge? Probably. Give myself the best opportunity to send in some indirect percussion flakes. I didn't regularize the edge very well before I heat treated it. It was getting on my nerves, I think, and I didn't continue napping on it. Actually, it doesn't feel all that much different than it did before. I'm trying to remember. It is still eating up the copper. Even at the 450 degrees, it's still eating up the copper tip. You can see it deposit. It is depositing copper on the stone. But it's not terminating in step fractures. It's good. Very nice. That's the problem I was having with it, was the step fracturing, so it looks like that problem is less now. It's still kind of tough, but we'll see. I'm going to do some bold percussion flakes here in a minute. We'll see how it works. I keep thinking about how this hobby is expanding. Lots of new nappers on YouTube. Lots of new customers buying rocks, looking for rocks, that kind of thing. It really has expanded in the last 10 years a lot. So you new guys just starting out, you don't have it as easy as some of us older guys. Finding good material. We used to be able to find good material. These days it's getting harder, just in case you don't know. Most of you already know it only takes a few months to get the impression that you're competing with a lot of people, which is true nowadays. Yeah, I can run flakes. Yeah, I can run good flakes, whereas before I was having trouble. A lot of trouble. Yeah. Let's see if I can clean off that surface. Yeah. Nice bold flakes, nice clean detachments. Still need to grind the edge quite a bit. Still tough. Did it do it? Oh, so nice. There is a little bit of a diving flake though from earlier. Let's see if it got worse or not. Hopefully not. Some of those diving flakes get worse when you heat treat it. We'll see. Ooh, it almost peeled it off. There's still a little bit of a remnant, but that's not bad at all. Nope, not bad at all. Yeah, I can run thin cosmetic flakes. Look at that. I was not able to do that before. Nope. See, I was having like I was going to the islands in the middle of this thing before. And it's still a difficult attack. Did it do it? Oh, so nice. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It did do it. I'm going to be careful if it hit the stem or the base. The tip will pop off. I know it because I did it already a couple times. I got to be very, very careful if I want to try to skin that off. Because the only attack I can see is from the bottom. Or near the bottom. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Yeah, that was me all the way. Yeah. No defects in the material. I was hoping that the percussion wasn't going to do that. When I was hitting this part with the abrader. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright. That'll go in the brokes and bifaces so you guys can test this stuff out, I suppose. Go into a box of brokes and bifaces. I still want to see if it'll clear out that island. Let's see if I can clear it out. So the lesson here is it does become easier, but you got to watch it now. It almost went that far. You got to watch it now that it's heat treated because it becomes snap in half chert. Yeah. Yes, very nice. Yeah, all I gotta do is be more careful with this chert. If I spot it again in that box, I think I have more of this. Yeah, I know I have more of this in there. Yeah, it can be cleared. It can be cleared and flattened and thinned as long as you don't snap off the tip. All right. Okay. So that answered that question. I'll remember that type of chert. It was a real pain in the butt when I was trying to get it thinned down before. Now I can be thin, but it also becomes very snappity and halfity. All right. Nice. Very nice. Although it might have some internal defects, it's promising. I'm not going to mess with it right now. Okay. What else we got? I think this is a high grade anyway, no matter what. But it's just one of those spalls that you don't want to mess with in a raw state. Because it does have such a rounded turtleback. It's hard to get in there and remove it in the raw state because you need not a lot of force. When it's heat treated, you don't need as much force. And it also has flakes that'll travel further. It'll also lend itself to traveling further as far as the flaking. As far as the flaking goes, I'm going to try a shot this way. Although this edge is not that great, I'm going to try it anyway. Because it's heat treat. It should work. Let's see. Yes, it did it. Perfect. See? Not all is lost. I just saved this piece from the trash bin. There's a little bit of cortex defects in it. There's a little bit right there, but it looks like I'll be able to nap it down. Yeah. Alright, so that goes in the bifaces or successful spalls, or I don't know. Like this one has a crack in it right there. That's the heat. Probably. Yeah. Probably caused by the heat treating process. I can make a small arrowhead out of it. Yeah, it's still usable. As long as there's no cracks anywhere else. That's dicey. But yeah. It's okay. It's alright. This one, I think I've already napped some of this. Yeah, so there's like 5 or 6 different varieties of chert in here. Not too much else. I think I've napped through most of it that needs to be tested. It's starting to repeat itself. Yeah, it's starting to repeat itself. I already napped some of this, but just in case. I think I did test some of this earlier. I just can't remember. I've got 2 boxes of this stuff. I did 2 different heat treats. This must have been the box I tested more than the other box. Because these were removed. Yeah, after heat treating, you can see the difference in the texture. But this has the potential of being a good piece. So I'll stick it over here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's not a good idea. That was not a good idea. Now I gotta try to fix that. What is going on there? Yeah, I might have ruined it with that strike, but it looks like it's thick enough that I can get something out of it. Maybe. Maybe. Let me see. Let's see if it's going to cooperate. It might cooperate, although that That flake may have dived a little bit too far. You gotta be careful. Some guys would just toss it at this point, but I think it's thick enough that I can explore and see if I can save it. Why would I want to save it when I got this whole big box, 20 pounds of heat treat? It's because that's what I always try to do. Sometimes I get fixated on certain pieces. I like the color on this, so I get fixated, and I want to try to explore it further. Although I have napped this, I have napped pieces like this already just now. I want to see how easy it is to do damage control on that sort of mistake. As long as that crack doesn't go too deep, I think I'll be safe. This is a steel rod, by the way. I switched to steel because I'm used to it, and it's the right size for this particular piece. Although it might be a little too crushy on the edges. The main advantage of steel is a lack of maintenance. It holds up over and over again. You can hit it over and over, and it holds up. You don't have to keep sharpening the stupid tool. Yeah, I said stupid tool. The tool is only as stupid as the user. I know. I'm not disagreeing with that. Okay, let's see. Well, it does not look too promising. If I can just get a clean flake. That wasn't too bad. It's already been an hour. I've been yapping and napping for an hour. Apparently. Or as my mother would say, apparently. Apparently? Yeah. Apparently. Yeah, English was not her native tongue. All right. Oh, getting closer. Did it do it? Am I seeing some light at the end of the tunnel? Maybe. I have a curve in it, so it doesn't look that great. I'm trying to take some shortcuts here with the edge, just so I can see if I can clean that off. I'm not really preparing the edge right. Well, it's got a curve in it, so that's one strike against me. The other thing is I still cannot get to the bottom of that diving flake. And I'm hitting the base now, so it could snap in half. But I'm trying to take the curve out. I gotta lose some off the base. And I want to lose off the base because there's cortex there. I'm gonna lose that anyway. Does it look promising? It kind of does. I could just snap it and say, oh well, that solves that problem. Can I actually snap it on purpose? Oh yeah. So you don't know if I'm doing anything accidentally, do you? I could say I'm doing it accidentally, but I did it accidentally on purpose. Yeah. Because I can definitely snap it in half right now if I wanted to. On purpose. Yep. And I can say, that's the end of that problem. That solves that problem. I don't know. I can't really take the curve out that easily. It's gonna get translucent if I go thinner. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna go further right now. I'll just stop the video and hope for the best later on. I'll just save it in the bifaces. Maybe one or two more flakes, just out of curiosity. Some of you are probably going, yeah, hit that one right there so you can at least attempt to get it. That's a big old defect. Yeah. That ran quite a ways. That I got some flakes in my glove. Those holes right there. Okay, hold on. Alright, I've come this far. Let's try one more. That was kind of nice. Which way did it go? That way? Alright, so let's see what it did. Ooh, it almost kind of sort of did it. I'm looking for the bottom of that diving flake. I almost hit the bottom of it right there. I still have a little bit of room, but not much. Of course, I could just leave it in the finished piece. It's already pretty translucent, so it would look pretty, at least when you hold it up to the light. But you start looking for defects, and you can see one right there. It stops in the middle, but it's a little bit deeper. It doesn't really present much of a problem snapping it this way, but it does present a problem snapping it the other way. Like when you're pressure flaking, the crack can open up when you're pressure flaking and snap it that way. You know, right across like this. And it's still a little bit curved. I would have to take some more off the base and the tip, although the tip's too thin. I would take it off the base. I would lose a little bit of length and then try to thin it down a little bit more. I got a little bit of room. I'll put this aside. I've got a piece of obsidian I need to knap on the side, so I'll just keep these two together for future videos. Alright, so that's it for this one. All these pieces are going to be similar. Yeah, I don't see any odd or unusual pieces. You got to be careful. These are very, very sharp. Yeah, this is nasty stuff. Yeah, but it naps well, right? We determined that this nasty stuff naps well now. Well, it naps better. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, that's it.